Hi guys, PrinceofMacedon here, doing a Napoleon Total War online multiplayer battle. This is the Britain versus France battle. I command the British, and my opponent is... well, I can't even pronounce his name because his name is composed of a bunch of numbers and letters. Let's go look at my British army first. I have one squadron of dragoons. Then going from right to left, I have, I believe, 5 units of these skirmisher units. They're just known as riflemen. Then I have 6 units of the British foot infantry. And I really dig those uniforms just because those are the ones you see in the TV show Sharp. Alright, now here I have 1 unit of the Highlander foot units. Look at those guys are awesome. Alright, then I have... what else do I have? I don't know, I have trouble with these names because I'm not familiar with this game. Okay, here we go. Here's my my general unit. That is Major General Picton. He's the guy with the little top hat there. Alright, then I have one horse squadron here. This is a 15th Hussars squadron. And I'm gonna call it Hussars. I don't care what you guys say. Alright, I have a 6-pounder horse artillery team here. Oh, and I forgot to show, but I also have a 1 unit of the foot guard. Those are elite infantry units. Alright, let's go look at my opponent's French army. First off, my opponent has an unknown amount of these skirmish units, and I couldn't count them because they kept disappearing on me. But this is his extreme right, and he set up his stakes there to ward off a cavalry charge. And right here he has a 6-pounder horse artillery team. And right here is 1 squadron of dragoons, but he actually has 3 squadrons total of dragoons. Here's a National Guard unit. They look kind of interesting, very old school looking. And he really has a lot of heavy infantry units. He has 9 units of these fusiliers. And I'm going to try to go down this line here of French troops and see if I can point out any unique troops. There's one right there, and those are the 18th Regiment. They are called the Brave. Then he has all kinds of other units here, very miscellaneous. I'm just going to name the units here because I have a list, I wrote it down. Right here, that's the 16th Regiment. They're Infanterie Légère, and I can't pronounce that. And somewhere in that big blob of infantry, he also had a Grenadier of the Line. But yeah, here's a quick overview of his units. Oh, there's another artillery piece. That is a 6-inch howitzer. And his general unit was the General's Staff. I'm not sure if I showed it, but it's kind of confusing because his guys were moving. Alright, so my opponent kicked off the battle by opening fire on my artillery piece. And here I'm setting up my artillery, and I return fire. And my first shot actually took out some of his units. Look at that. I flattened some of his horses. I'm going to try to stay focused here so you can see the damage of my artillery when it strikes. And you can also see the new effects that Napoleon Total War has versus the effects from Empire Total War. The artillery is a lot more spectacular looking. Look at that shot, bam! Pretty nice. Also, when the troops fire their guns, it's very amazing. I'll show you close-ups later, but you can see what my opponent is doing. He is moving his troops over opposite my left. But I'm already towards the middle of the map here. But my opponent deployed kind of far in the back. There's some more of my foot units. And right here, this is my general unit. This is Major General Picton. He was the highest ranking officer to lose his life at Waterloo. If you see the movie Waterloo starring Christopher Plummer, you would see that guy wearing the civilian outfit. That was Major General Picton. And the reason why he's wearing a civilian outfit is because his uniform never reached Waterloo. So he was stuck wearing his civilian clothes. Alright, here's my artillery. This is what my guys look like up close. Oh, and just to backtrack a little bit, I did have the option of bringing the Duke of Wellington instead of Major General Picton, but the Duke of Wellington is a really expensive unit, so I opted for Major General Picton. Alright, so yeah, once again, this is the Syrian Ridge map. I think the object is to rush to the center and take the ridge, but my opponent deployed kind of far back, so I'm already in the middle of the map. Actually, I'm past the middle of the map. But my opponent decided to deploy way back here. But that's not really a good thing because he surrendered the high ground to me. And there my artillery just got a really good shot off at the 6-inch howitzer coming up. And those guys weren't even unlimbered yet. So I had a really lucky shot there. Alright, so my opponent's still back here. He's really expecting me to attack on that side. Alright, so I stretched out my skirmishers all across this ridge here. I just wanted to dominate this high ground. And once again, this is the middle of the map. We should have been fighting for this piece of ground, but my opponent deployed so far in the back. And right now, I'm just content to let my artillery fire at the French army. And speaking of which, I really wanted to command the French, but my opponent already picked them. And we could have had a France versus France battle, but I didn't want to do that for a first time video. Anyways, my guys are setting up their stakes, so in case my opponent launches a cavalry charge, it's going to cost him some of his horses. So those are my guys. Those are my my skirmishers once again. And I stretched out my line just to match the width of his line. And if you'll notice, a lot of my opponent's shots are missing my troops. Like, he's been aiming for my artillery, but he keeps missing for the most part. Here's some more movement from my opponent. He's moving once more to the right. So if you look on the very top right, you can see a little mini map, and you can see his line versus my line. He's the little blue dots on the mini map, and I'm the little red dots on the mini map. So from what I can gather, it looks like my opponent is trying to stretch my lines out. So at this point, I'm expecting an attack somewhere on this map, just because he's been constantly stretching his lines. And if I keep stretching my lines, then that means my army is getting weaker somewhere. But yeah, I'm going to continue to stretch, and I can see what my opponent's intentions are. And these are my riflemen once again. These guys are pretty much the green jackets, so maybe we'll see a shanty. Alright, back over to my artillery team. They are still wreaking havoc on the French artillery. And here's a new development. My opponent massed his troops on the other side this time. So he was trying to do a lot of misdirection by stretching out his lines and moving on his right, and now he's moving on his left. And this time it's a huge concentrated blob of French troops. So here they come. And I don't want to make any movements yet. I want him to keep coming so that he can commit. And once he commits, then we can have an actual battle going. So I have my troops on the opposite side of that ridge. And I don't want my opponent to think that I'm going to prepare for his attack. I want him to come, and then I'm going to prepare. That way we can get some proper action going here. But most of my troops are in the middle of my formation. That way I can reinforce my right or my left when I want to. And at about this point, I started to put my artillery into their close range shot. And for some reason, I started targeting his troops right there on the right, but they wouldn't aim at them. I think it's because there's some terrain blocking or something. I'm not sure why they wouldn't fire. And what else? What else is going on? Yeah, I did move my cavalry all over to my right, including my general. This way I can also use my general to inspire my troops. And here is my general right here. There he is, Major General Picton with the cool top hat. Alright, now my opponent's charging his cavalry towards my artillery. I have some stakes right there. And we're going to see what the stakes do to his cavalry. It won't be as spectacular as you might think, but we'll see. Looks like he lost 2 horses, no, 3 horses, I think. I was hoping for like a massacre of French horses right there, but it didn't happen. Anyways, I put my guys into the British square, but I didn't notice that his cavalry stopped at the artillery, so my guys are kind of missing right now. But this line of British troops, they're about to have a go with the French cavalry. And here comes some more French troops right here, and they are charging right at my Highlanders. And the Highlanders are pretty elite in this game, so I wasn't too worried about their chances fighting the French cavalry. And yeah, this is where the big battle's gonna develop right here. His cavalry was forced into action, but he should have withdrew him when he saw that my guys were prepared for it. And here comes a big blob of French troops. Look at that, it's a giant mess. He has like 6 units of mainly the Fusiliers. And I got my guys in line, and his guys are not in line, so my guys are gonna get the better of this engagement here. See how his guys are nicely packed? That's not a good thing. My guys are stretched out, so that's going to give him a better field of fire against those French troops. And in my mad dash to capture his French cavalry, my British cavalry got caught up with his French infantry. So my guys are going to run in and then run back out. I had a hard time trying to withdraw my cavalry for some reason. But anyways, he put his guys into the square in order to ward off my cavalry. But right behind my cavalry, I've got my Highlanders already firing. So it's not good to be in square anymore. But he's going to charge down with his Fusiliers. So it's a very furious gunfight, and you can see the cool looking special effects in Napoleon Total War. By the way, this is actually my second battle. My first battle was again supposed to be a team battle, but I got disconnected from Steam before the battle even started, so I was kind of annoyed by that. And right here I got my guys to get some flanking fire on that big French horde right there. So they're getting murdered by my positioning. Anyways, at this point my opponent decided to admit defeat. But good game to my opponent, you can see the results.